श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम अखंडानंदसंबोधः बंधनात् यस्य जायते गोविंदं तमहं वंदे चिदानंदतनुं गुरुम्. So yesterday we saw the deities, what are the deities, respective deities for each of the sense organs. Okay. Now, how, from where did these deities come into existence? What is the origin of these deities? And where are they residing? So, and how do they function? Those things needs to be explained. Though we explained it earlier, he is explaining it here. He says, digādyā devatāḥ sarvāḥ khādisattvāṃśasambhavāḥ sammitā, in some places sthitaḥ. Okay, sthitaḥ indriyasthāneṣvindriyāṇāṃ samantataḥ nigṛhṇantyanugṛhṇanti prāṇikarmānurūpataḥ digādyā devatāḥ sarvāḥ khādisattvāṃśasambhavāḥ sthitaḥ indriyasthāneṣu indriyāṇāṃ samantataḥ nigṛhṇanti anugrhṇanti prāṇikarmānurūpataḥ. Digādyā sarvā devatāḥ, all these dik etc., direction etc. deities, all these deities, respective deities, khādisattvāṃśasambhavāḥ, they have manifested, they are created, they are born from the sattvic portion of the space etc., ether etc. From the sattvic portion, we saw the creation of the knowledge sense organs. From the same sattvic portion, we have the creation of these elements also. These deities also, presiding deities also. Okay. Now, where do these presiding deities specifically exist? Indriyasthāneṣu, indriyāṇāṃ samantataḥ, in the sense organs. Now, when we say in the sense organs, in the center of the sense organs, that is not how we have to understand. See, let us say if it is in the center of the sense organ, like we say eye, in the center of eye, there is this deity. Then, if the sense organ itself is in that space and the deity is also in that place, let us suppose, then for some people with cataracts etc., they will not be able to see something which is in the direct eyesight. They will have to see like this. So what will happen to them? Those kind of situations will arise. So we have to understand indriyasthāneṣu, in those sense organs, whichever respective sense organ, in those sense organs, indriyāṇāṃ samantataḥ normally is around. But if you accept around also, there will be another problem. Then only in the center, if there is an issue with this the surrounding area of the eyes, you will not be able to accept this sense, this power of a deity, presiding deity, because presiding deity is completely engulfed by these cataract etc. disease. So we have to say samantataḥ means completely. So these sense organs exist in that place, and in that engulfing that sense organ completely, these residing deities, they exist. Okay, sansita, samyaksita, they are perfectly situated in that place. prāṇikarmānurūpataḥ nigṛhṇantyanugṛhṇanti. Then how do they function? So he says prāṇikarmānurūpataḥ, according to the specific karma. Karma means karma of the past. Karma of the past. According to the past karmas of the living beings, all the beings, nigṛhṇantyanugṛhṇanti, he either blesses them or censures them. Meaning, we saw there are two options possible. A, the presiding deity's power is obstructed by the past bad or good karmas. That can also happen. Now, the second option we also gave is no, since it is a deity, we don't want to obstruct its power, but it blesses or it censures you according to your karmas. So if you have good karma, he blesses you more. If you have bad karma, he censures you, he creates obstacle for your performance of sense organs. Okay, now control. Nigṛhṇa means control. He either blesses you or controls your sense organs. That's the idea. Okay, now what is the cause for this karmas to function? All these karmas, whatever we perform, all the activities we perform, what is the cause for this action? These activities. So that is explained here. śarīrakaraṇagrāmaprāṇāhamadhidevatāḥ pañcaite hetavaḥ proktā niṣpattau sarvakarmaṇām śarīrakaraṇagrāmaprāṇāhamadhidevatāḥ pañcaite hetavaḥ proktā niṣpattau sarvakarmaṇām. Sharira, the body. Then karanagrama. Karana means instrument, sense organs. Grama means group. Okay. So the group of sense organs. Second. Third is see, you have body, you have a group of sense organs. If there is no prana, if there is no life there, then there is no point. You have life, you have body, but there is no sense organ, then there is also again no point. So you have to have body, you have to have sense organs, and there should be life in those sense organs. Okay, prana. Then just because of you have all this does not mean that you can function. You have to have ahankara, aham, ego. Why do you have to bring in ego here? Why can I not do anything? I did that. I didn't have any ego. You think you didn't have any ego, but the I itself in that activity is ego. You said, I did it without ego. I did it. That is ego. Right? So, why should you have to have ego there compulsorily? See, if you don't have ego, you have the body, you have the sense organ, you have the life, but you will be comatose. You will be like in coma. Because there is no ego to function. So, they don't want that situation. So, we have had to body, we have to have the sense organs, we have to have the life for that body and sense organs, and we also have to have ego. Just these are not enough. Then what is that? Important thing is Aditya, the presiding deity in these sense organs. That is also important. So, devatāḥ, so the sense organs, the life, the prana, then ego and the presiding deity. All these five, pañcaite, all these five, sarvakarmaṇām niṣpattau hetavaḥ proktā, are said to be the cause for hetavaḥ, the cause for sarvakarmaṇām niṣpattau, for performing all the kinds of activities. So, if you want to perform any activity, you need to have these five. Absence of any one of them, there can be no activity. Okay? Now, but ātmā, what will ātmā do? You didn't bring in ātmā. We don't bring in ātmā. Because ātmā is not associated with any which way with these activities. That he is explaining. Karmānurūpeṇa guṇodayo bhave, dguṇānurūpeṇa manaḥpravṛttiḥ, manonuvṛttairubhayātmakendriyai, rnirvartyate puṇyamapuṇyamatra. How do you perform the activities, good or bad activities? This is the sequence. These five are important. Through these five, I am going to perform in this sequence. How? Karma anurupeṇa guṇodayo bhavet. Guna anurupeṇa manaḥpravṛttiḥ. Mano anuvṛttirai ubhayātmakendriyai nirvartyate puṇyamapuṇyamatra. Karma anurupeṇa guṇodayo bhavet. According to the karma. Karma means prārabdha karma. For people who don't understand what prārabdha karma is, prārabdha karma will be discussed in later portion. Just understand it be fate. The past karmas which come as fate. So that is what is the karma here. Because karma is a loose term. If the activity which we perform now is also called as karma. The activity of the past, which is gained as a result, is also karma. And the activity of the future, this karma you do, you will find a result. That is also karma. That result goes around and comes as cause. Okay. So the activity, the cause for that activity, and the result of that activity. The result goes around and comes as cause. Okay. So that karmānurūpeṇa, according to that kind of karma, guṇodayo bhave. There will be a guna. Guna means good, bad. No, not that. Sattvic, rasic, tamasic. That is what the guna means. So there is a manifestation of emergence of a kind of guna. These are all important. Otherwise, see, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Now everyone, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. So this is sattvic mode of doing the same bhajan. Now, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram. This is Rajasic. And I have seen tamasic type of bhajan also. What? Tamasic type of bhajan? Yes, I have seen. In Rishikesh, some ashrams, they have this role. If you want to take food in this ashram, you have to do bhajan for a hour or so. If you want to stay in this ashram, you have to do bhajan. And some people, they pay people to do the bhajan. Some or other, there is a connection. Okay. So there is a compulsion also. So a person who chants mantras for a compulsion, for a reason, he is not doing it. We have this Hindi term called Rudali. In South India also we have a specific group. Meaning these people are paid money to come and cry in your death. You don't want to cry. You will pay that fellow and that fellow will come and cry for you. Group of ladies or things like that. So similarly here. So he says guṇodayo. This tamasic people, they are paid something or they have a compulsion, they'll come and do chanting. What? Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. This is the mantra, and they'll say, see, they are chanting Shri Ram Jai Ram. They will only say see, not even Sri. That is the kind of a tamasic. So according to the gunas, according to the karmas, there is a manifestation of guna. And according to guna, what happens is guṇānurūpeṇa manaḥpravṛttiḥ. The mind acts based on the guna. So if there is sattvic guna is there, the mind will produce a sattvic thought function. If it is rajasic guna, the mind will produce a rajasic thought function. If it's tamasic guna, the mind will produce a tamasic thought function. So according to that, manaḥpravṛttiḥ, the mind will act. There will be a thought function from the mind. And manonuvṛttairubhayātmakendriyai ātmā puṇyamapuṇyam nirvartyate. According to the mental activity, according to the thought function, both the kinds of sense organs, whether it's knowledge sense organ or action sense organ, both these puṇyam apuṇyam atra nivartyate. They perform here both punya and apunya, good and bad deeds. Apunya papa. Good on punya and papa karmas, they perform. Nirvartyate means they perform. Okay. Karoti vijñānamayo'bhimānaṃ kartāhameveti tadātmanā sthitaḥ ātmā tu sākṣī na karoti kiñci na kārayatyeva tatastavat sada. So according to my karma, in me there is a guna, and according to that guna in me there is a thought function, and according to that thought function my sense organs function. Therefore I am the epicenter of all these activities. I perform, therefore I receive the results. But you are not talking about me. Who do you think you are? If you understand you to be the self, then that self is not doing anything. Ātmā niṣkriyam nirgunam cha. We already have said Ātmā is devoid of activities and devoid of any kind of characteristics. Now that is what he is saying here. Karoti vijñānamayo'bhimānaṃ. Then who is performing? That is explained here. Karoti vijñānamayo'bhimānaṃ. Kartā aham eva iti tadātmanā sthitaḥ. ātmā tu sākṣī. Na karoti kiñcit na kārayatyeva. Tatastavat sada. Vijñānamayo'bhimānaṃ. This vijñānamayo'bhimānaṃ. We saw what vijñānamayo'bhimānaṃ is. Buddhi, intellect. Let us simply say it as intellect. The intellect. Tadātmanā sthitaḥ. In the form of the mind and the sense organs. In the form of the mind and sense organs. This intellect is what is performing. Ahameva kartā iti abhimānaṃ karoti. Thinks that I am the doer for these activities. It has the identification with that activity. But ātmā kiñcit na karoti na kārayati. It neither does anything nor makes the other person do something for himself, for the self. This is what in Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter he says, Nayam hanti na hanyate. The self neither kills nor not gets killed. Says the self neither kills nor makes somebody kill. So he says, or it does not get killed. So it neither gets killed nor it kills anyone. So he says, na karoti na kārayati. The self neither does itself or prods someone to do, instigates someone to do things. No, it neither does that. Sada tatastavat sākṣī. Always it is like tatastha. Tata means the shore. Like we stay in the shore, we see the movement of the river, the waves and all that. We are not affected by any of that. Similarly, this self also stays put in the shore without being afflicted by the current. That is, sākṣī. It is just a witness. You have been saying no sākṣī. Now he says sākṣī. But we have to understand what sākṣī is. Sākṣī is a word loosely used for witness. Witness means a person who witnessed some activity. So he comes and claims in the court that I was the witness. Sākṣī. I was the eyewitness. So that eyewitness is either associated with that karma or is paid to be a witness. Can be anything. He can be paid to be an eyewitness, perjuring himself. So anything can be there. So we are not talking about, when we say witness, we are referring to the judge. Even judges are nowadays paid and they are also sold. Now we are talking about a person who is completely non-judgmental. He is just being a witness. Okay, he is not even judging who is right and who is wrong. He is not even judging that. He is just completely unaffected by any activity. So that is, how do you say that? He says, drashta shrota vakta karta bhokta bhavanti ahankarah swayam etad vikrutinam sākṣī nirlepa eva ātmā. So drashta shrota bhakta karta bhokta bhavati ahankarah swayam etad vikrutinam sākṣī nirlepa eva ātmā. So ahankarah, the ego, drashta becomes the seer, shrota becomes the listener, bhakta becomes the speaker, karta becomes the doer, bhokta becomes the experiencer. The ego is what is doing all this, is in all these situations. Bhavati. Ātmā, the self, whereas swayam etad vikrutinam sākṣī, is itself is witness for all these transformations, whether the ego transforms itself into the doer or experiencer or listener or hearer, whatever. It is just a witness for all these transformations. Meaning, he is associated with it. No, nirlepa, without being associated with any of that, he just witnesses it. How can that be? I'll give you an example. I'll explain that with an example. He says, ātmā sākṣī mātratvam na kartutvam na bhoktruta ravivat prāṇibhirloke kriyamāneṣu karmasu. ātmana sākṣī mātratvam na kartrutvam na bhoktruta ravivat prāṇibhihi loke kriyamāneṣu karmasu. prāṇibhihi loke kriyamāneṣu karmasu. In the world, by the pranis, by the living beings, kriyamāneṣu karmasu, whatever activities they perform, among the activities they performed by the people in the world, ravivat, like the sun. That's the example. See, somebody is doing a good job, good deed, somebody is doing a bad deed. The sun does not say, oh, this fellow is doing a good deed, therefore I will shine brighter, but I will reduce the heat. Now, this fellow is doing a bad deed, so I shine lesser, but I will increase the heat. No, it does not control the temperature or the light. Whether you do perform good act or bad act, it equally shines them. Whether it is Ganga or it is a gutter, it does not really matter. They are both illumined equally. Whether it is a high mountain or a plateau or a plain surface, it illumines both. Whether it's tree or animal or plant or bird or human being, whatever, does not really matter. It shines them equally. Similarly, ātmanah sākṣī mātratvam kartrutvam na bhoktruta na. Similarly, the ātmā also is a sākṣī, like the sun. It neither is the doer nor is the experiencer. I didn't understand the example. Okay, we will explain the example. Nahi arkah kurute karma na karayati jantavah swasvabhāvanurodhena vartante swasthakarmasu. Nahi arkah kurute karma na karayati jantavah swasvabhāvanurodhena vartante swasthakarmasu. Arka means sun. We already explained this. Arka means sun. Karma nahi kurute, does not perform any activity. Nahi karayati, also it does not make others do. See, okay, there is sun, let us go and steal, let us go and kill. No, people don't do that. Whether it is dark or light does not really matter. Even night they go and steal, they go and kill. And somebody who does good jobs, he does not wait for the, okay, let us wait for tomorrow morning until the sun comes up for me to give this. No. If he wants to do a good job, he will do it even in the night. Nights are not so night in today's perspective. So, whether it's day or night, good people do good deeds, bad people do bad deeds. They don't wait for the sun. So, neither sun does it or makes other do it. Therefore, jantavah swasvabhāvanurodhena, the beings also, according to their inherent nature. Swabhava means the nature. According to the nature means according to the karma they have carried forward from the past birth. Swasvakarmasu vartante, they are involved in those their respective karmas. According to their past karmas, they are involved in the present karmas. Okay, now tatsaiva pratyagātmāpi raivat niṣkriyātmanā udāsīnatayaivaste dehādīnāṃ pravrittishu. This example is concluded here. He says, tatha eva pratyagātmāpi ravivat niṣkriyātmanā udāsīnataya eva aste dehādīnāṃ pravrittishu. Tatha eva, similarly so, pratyagātmāpi, one's own self means this is not some idea like the other the idiots who want to show themselves to be spiritual. They say, he's a very good soul. Oh, that fellow is a very bad soul. What is there? Where is the bad and good in soul? Soul is one. Self is one. There can be good self, bad self. There is nothing there. So he says, pratyagātmāpi, one's own self. One's own self means pratyagātmā paramatma, jivatma paramatma. That is the difference. We, to understand, we explain. Otherwise, there is no real difference. Pratyagātmā is Paramatma. That is Vedanta. The individual self is absolute self. That is what is Vedanta. So he says this individual self also, because we have identified ourselves with all this, so we have to talk about individual self. So individual self also निष्क्रियात्मना देहादीनां प्रवृत्तिषु रविवत् उदासीनतया एव अस्ति. The like the sun, which is a non-involved, it is not involved with anything, it is udasina, it is a like aloof. Okay, the sun is aloof, whether you do good deed or bad deed, it does not associate itself with her. Similarly, this individual self also staying as activity lesser in the body, etc., it sees the activities of the bodies, etc., it witnesses the activities of body, etc. Okay, now why is it so? Why is this self? Why? But I don't see myself to be witness, etc. I get involved, I do, I see, that is how I experience. Why is that so? So he says ajñātvaiva param tattvam maya mohita chetasaha swātmanyaropayanti kartrutvādyanya gocharam. ajñātva eva param tattvam maya mohita chetasaha swātmani aropayanti etat kartrutvādi anya gocharam. ajñātva evam param tattvam, evam, in this way, param tattvam ajñātva, without knowing the absolute self, superior self. Param tattvam means superior self. In here it is absolute self. Without knowing the absolute self or the truth, without knowing the truth, maya mohita chetasaha, maya mohita, maya, because of maya, deluded. Mohita means deluded, deluded mind, one whose mind is deluded by maya. What is this maya? We will explain more about maya in the later verse, where we'll explain about the two powers of maya. We already saw that. We will explain it in the shloka also, the vikshepa shakti and avarana shakti, etc. So because of that, this fellow is deluded, his mind is deluded. With that mind, anyagocharam etat anyagocharam, this which is happening in someone else, something else, means in the non-self. That which is happening in the non-self, what? The kartruttvādi, the doership, etc., that which takes place in the non-self, swātmani aropayanti, they superimpose in their own self. Why will I do? Why will I own up to somebody's act? Like there is this news in the recent papers. There is this hero who allegedly killed his own fan, and somebody went and surrendered for that act. Now, we are not doing the social media inquiry and judgment. We are not doing that. We are just taking an example, that's all. So this fellow who went to surrender himself for somebody's crime, what did he get? Either he was paid some money, or he had an emotional attachment with that actor. Oh, he is my man, so I have to own it. So some either monetary attachment or emotional attachment. There is physical or psychological attachment. So he says similarly, there should be some attachment. You don't need to have any kind of attachment always. There are some places where we superimpose something on someone because of no reason. Like he is giving an example. ātmā swarūpam anivicārya vimūಢa buddhihi āropayatyakhīlam etat anātma kāryam swātmanya sangaciti niṣkriya eva candre dūrastha meghakritam dhāvanavat bhramena. ātmā swarūpam avicārya vimūಢa buddhihi āropayati akhilam etat anātma kāryam swātmani asangachiti niṣkriye eva candre durastha meghakrita dhāvanavat bhramena. Earlier he used an example of sun. Now he is giving an example of moon. He says vimūಢa buddhi, visheshena mūఢah vimūఢah. Buddhi means one who has that kind of mind. on that kind of intellect. Means a filtered idiot. Vimuda buddhi means filtered idiot. This filtered idiot, one whose mind is deluded, one whose intellect is deluded, this fellow, ātmā surupam avicārya, without inquiring properly into the inherent nature of the self. Anātma karyam etat, all these non-selfs, which is nonsense. Akhilam, all this, asangachiti nishkriye swatmani āropayati. He superimposes on the asanga, non-associated, chiti, consciousness, nishkriye, activityless, swatmani, in the self. In one's own self, which is activityless, which is consciousness, which is non-attached. In that self, he superimposes. Why will one do that? So he says, Durastha megakrita dhāvanavat chandre brahmena aropyati. Because of erroneous knowledge, Brahma, because of erroneous knowledge, he superimposes. How will one do superimposition of something on something else because of erroneous? This is what we see, rope snake, etc. I'll give you an example. In today's world, people won't understand the example because everyone is involved only in the cell phone. They don't even phone. They don't see anything further than the screen. That is why they all have myopia and all that issues now. Lots of people, lots of young people have myopia and all because they only see the screen. They don't see the further things. Okay. Now, we used to, when we were kids, we used to run from one corner to another corner and see. Oh, see, moon has come here. Moon didn't go anywhere. Moon was there always in the same place. But you ran and you saw the moon to be in your place, in other place where you went. Therefore, you thought the moon also traveled with you. Or you don't run anywhere. You stay put. You see the moon. The moon will seem to move. You cannot, with naked eyes, see the movement of the moon. Moon is moving, but you cannot see the movement of the moon. But the clouds are moving. Based on the clouds, you see the moon to be moving. When you go in flights, you can see the clouds beneath and the moon above. Now, the clouds are moving from beneath. The moon is situated like that. There is no movement there. But from the earth, when you see the clouds are moving, you see the moon to be moving the other side. Or better, when you are going in a boat, you see the trees on the shore to move the other side. Or when you are traveling in a train or car, when you sit in a station, the other trains are moving, but you will feel that you are moving. So that is the kind of example he is giving. Chandre, durasthame, the moon is somewhere else and the clouds are not even closer to that. It exists farther from moon. Durastha, duresthita. It is farther to the moon. Those clouds, when they move, that movement is superimposed on the moon. Similarly, this idiot, this filtered idiot, he superimposed the activity in the self. Okay? We'll see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.